Tim, St. Louis, Missouri, that line for those who say no, they don't have confidence in the higher education system in this country. Go ahead.
I would say lost all confidence, and I think the cause is the DEI programs that the colleges have adopted. And the DEI programs are not just in higher education, but they happen in average school districts across America. My school district has DEI directors that were hired in the last 5 or 6 years. And I know colleges have large departments full of DEI bureaucrats. And, the programs they roll out are what has become the poison that has infected the university systems and is causing the downfall that we're seeing today.
What specifically about the diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives, Tim?
Well, specifically, that has nothing to do with education. Those programs are, I think they have no point, no value in what we know to be education. Education is about ideas and knowledge, and DEI is the opposite of that. It just doesn't bring any value to the educational platform.
This is Ryan in Phoenix. Good morning. You're next.
Hey, good morning, C-SPAN. Good morning, C-SPAN. Great show. Wanted to cover a couple of points. First, I thought Ms. Gay came across super unprofessional in the hearing. She was totally unprofessional. Very disappointed in her and the other college presidents when they were up there. Was ridiculous. And I'm glad that she's stepping down. Plagiarism should have no role, shouldn't be tolerated. It's ridiculous that, we hold these kids to standards. If someone plagiarizes somebody else, they should, they get suspended, they get kicked out of class, and that they let the president, sit on continue to go until the students actually pressured her to, students finally came together and held her accountable. So, and she was very subpar with her performance and work. So that was my main point. I'm glad that she's stepping down, but it's ridiculous that, she was allowed to continue as long as she did. Obviously she wasn't qualified.
I'm a Democrat, but I have some conservative tendencies. And I would say that the liberals have gone too far liberal. And, I dug the liberals when I was in college. I thought it was cool. But, I think they're not playing their hand quite wisely.
And, Rob, when you say the liberals have gone too far liberal, do you mean on college campuses, or are you talking just in the wider political spectrum of this country?
Both. Thanks for clarifying what it was I was trying to say, because that's it. The liberals have gone too far liberal for their own good, for the good of the country, for the good of politics. I hate to say that one group or another needs to settle down a little bit, but if they were smart and they wanted to further their cause, they would settle down a little bit. They would play it down a little bit. They'd just quiet down a little bit. And I'm not trying to take anybody's voice away, but for the furtherance of different causes, they'd be smarter to play their hand in a more subtle way.
This is Martin, Holland, Michigan. Good morning. You're next.
Yes. Good morning. Regarding the issue of higher education, and Harvard sets a good example with the resignation of President Gay. Comments about her wanting to go back and make corrections on her thesis. Well, it's like a bank robber, He steals all this money and profits off it for so many years. Now he's not calling it a robbery. He wants to go ahead and go back and sign the loan documents.
And Martin, I'll let you keep speaking. Let me just give people a wrap up of this plagiarism aspect of this story. And the Wall Street Journal wraps it up well. As criticism of her congressional hearing comments grew last month, Gay faced an onslaught of accusations that she plagiarized other academics in dozens of instances in several published academic papers, including her 1997 PhD dissertation, which looked at the political significance of black electoral success in the United States. The Harvard Corporation, which oversees Harvard, said in December that reviews of her work uncovered some instances of, quote, inadequate citation, but that the omissions, they said, didn't meet the bar of outright research misconduct. Gay has requested 4 corrections on 2 academic papers and is updating her dissertation in 3 different spots, according to the school. Go ahead, Martin.
Yes. So anyway, a doctor can have his medical license revoked, and an attorney can be disbarred. So why is she allowed to continue to teach there at Harvard? She didn't earn her PhD. All right, should be whoever granted it to her should rescind it immediately.
And I should note her resignation noted that she is going back into teaching, stepping down as president, but continuing to teach at Harvard. Martin, thanks for the call. James, Wilmington, Delaware, thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
Good morning. Within the context of your conversation, I'm saying I don't think I have confidence in higher education. I graduated from undergraduate college in 1979, and I went to an Eastern liberal arts college. And there's absolutely no doubt that it was left-leaning. We made phone calls home in the hallway dorm payphone and called home collect so the parent could refuse it and then could call us back. That's what college was like when I went. And I remember the conversation with my father describing how his small business was exploiting the working man. And he said, "You're going to a communist school. We'll talk about it when you get home." There's no doubt that
what was that talk like, James? What was that talk like when you got home?
It was absolutely calm and rational. My father was an intelligent, self-educated man. He felt that colleges were for people who were too stupid that couldn't figure things out for themselves. He used a dictionary and a library to educate himself. He very rationally walked me through why centralized decision-making was inferior to a free market.
But he was okay with you going to school, James?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I did my graduate work at NYU for a degree in social work. I think that the issue being discussed, the professor of Harvard, the dean of Harvard, whatever her title was,
president.
She was not caught in an act of anti-Semitism. She was caught in a tremendous act of hypocrisy, where anyone with eyes could see that previously, when all a conservative speaker had to do was step on campus and be shooed away before ever even speaking a word, that was in such stark contrast to calling for the extermination of the Jewish people. That those two things was just a little too much grinding of gears for even strident people to accept. And the other thing that was so blatantly obvious was that if this was a call for the extermination of African American people, that there would be no hesitation whatsoever. She would have said yes or no. The only hedging comes when it's a call for the extermination of the Jewish people. And that is what makes it an act of anti-Semitism. And that's really all I had to say.